Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all having a fantastic day, and without any further ado, let's jump right into it. The pendulum has swung back once again in the optimism world of the cryptocurrency space. There have been, in the last, I want to say 2 to 3 weeks, an egregious amount of predictions, price predictions, and talk about expectations as to where the cryptocurrency market is going to be going over the course of the next couple of months. It's very nice to see once again, at least at the time of me making this video, that a lot of fear has left the market. Kind of, I don't really. For some reason, 2 weeks since now, the news has been the US moved some Bitcoin. The people from Mt. Gox moved some Bitcoin. There was some weird news that the UK might move their Bitcoin, and it's like, okay, cool. So we're at the point where people can't even move their own coins anymore. And that goes for governments and also institutions and individuals, without it being some kind of a scary, scare the public kind of news. Anywho, dragging it on back, the expectation, for those of you who do not know, is that countries in general are going to begin to start cutting their interest rates. Why now? Why not January? Why not December? Who knows? We're getting a lot of September chatter. And because of this, I think, and also just the normal time frame, the implications of what happens after the halving, it's always the same, at least historically thus far. The halving happens, the prices dip. They're not usually as dramatic as what we've been seeing because of all the fear mongering in the news, but eventually prices do go back up. They move up quite highly. And then also we see the mega run up in 2025. But as we are not in 2025 and we're still in 2024, this is about 2024. Very popular analyst. His name is Plan B. He is back in the news once again, predicting a big move for Bitcoin will unfold by the end of this year based on several indicators. Everyone is predicting the exact same thing, a mega run-up of some sort. You might have seen the other videos, the other video titles. The Omega candle, the Godzilla candle, the Ultimate candle, the Super Saiyan candle. Everyone has a special name for it in some sort of way, but the idea is that, and I'll give it to you this way. Analysts are unsure if this mega bullish crazy run-up is going to begin sometime in August, or if it's going to begin sometime in September. These are the two time frames that we have. Around 20% have said in August, you'll see the rumblings of it. Bitcoin will do this, Bitcoin will pass by this number, but the majority are saying by September is when the bull run really is going to begin. Plan B told people on Twitter that he's watching the Bitcoin mining revenue metric. A lot of people in crypto use this as a metric for when it looks like prices have officially bottomed. The exact why this takes place, I can't tell you why, but here it goes. The idea is that it's January 2024, and there's 900 Bitcoin being created by the system. The people who are mining Bitcoin have to sell Bitcoin to keep their electricity on, and they only have to sell a portion. By the time we get to the halving, only 450 Bitcoin are made per day. So they essentially would have to sell twice as much to keep the lights on. The problem is that after the halving, the price tends to always drop for a couple of months. Some people say it's 2 months. Some people say it's 90 days. I'm sure a lot of you have also seen this 100-day indicator as well. And for the course of those 100 days, people who are mining Bitcoin are essentially forced to sell even more than double what they were before. Because not only has the halving happened, it's now more difficult to mine Bitcoin. And also the prices have dropped for Bitcoin in the wider cryptocurrency market as well. So therefore, yada, yada, yada. The metric is that at some point they capitulate. They stop selling. They don't sell as much as they were before. Once again, I can't give you the exact reason why, because the prices still have not risen high enough for them to be able to make a profit where they only have to sell as little as they did in January. But at some point, the people who were mining Bitcoin capitulate, so the word goes, as much as they possibly can. They stop selling as much as they were before. It could be that maybe the difficulty of the network also decreases and therefore they don't have to expel as much energy. Can't really tell you, but it's one of the metrics. And as the capitulation happens and they're not selling as much anymore, this historically has been an indicator as to when prices are going to move back up, because not only have retail investors, everyday normal people, relinquish their coins, which we've also been going over as another metric for those of you who've been missing it the last month or two. Another historic metric is to look at normal people who got into the market around January when things were pumping. Things go down around March or April or May whenever prices began to slide downwards. Prices no go up. New people in market are happy, and therefore they sell their coins in annoyance, embarrassment, whatever word you want to kind of throw inside there. Whales gobble up these coins, as we've also seen in the news, with no expectation of selling them. People who are mining Bitcoin have sold off their coins to the bankers and other people who are buying them. No new Bitcoin is entering the market. Bitcoin's price has bottomed, therefore price go up. The analyst charts suggest that historically, Bitcoin goes on a parabolic run-up after mining revenue has bottomed shortly after halvings, represented by the dark red dots. I guess there's a chart coming up. Based on the correlation between price and mining revenue, Plan B says Bitcoin is set to, here we go. He says that Bitcoin is set to double in price. Double in price between now and late December. Yes, that indicates a $135,000, a $140,000, $145,000, a $150,000 Bitcoin, according to Plan B, by late December. When I tell you we would all have a wonderful Christmas, that's a gigantic understatement. This has been, to be fair, something that was echoed and spoken about since around January. And since around the halving, March, April, a lot of you might remember. I think of course, the sentiment has waned in the public eye based off of prices going down and prices trending sideways. However, this still holds true to the predictions and the analyticals that we got at the beginning of this year. Every analyst, you might remember, said that by the end of this year, we would have anywhere from a $100,000 to a $120,000 Bitcoin. And that moved into 2025, where I mean the most realistic, if we can be realistic, the most realistic ones were between a $200 to a $300 something thousand Bitcoin. But then you get into the Cathy Wood $1 million and the Novogratz 600,000. But these were the numbers that were quoted. So I think people are going to be intently listening and watching to what's happening within the cryptocurrency space price-wise. Because Plan B has been correct before in the past, but there were major deviations over the course of 2020 and 2021. But that's because, so a lot of people will be looking to see if any of these analysts are actually correct, because then those charts will kind of be the charts that everyone ends up actually using and referencing. He said mining revenue bottomed after April 2024 halvings. I expect Bitcoin's price to double from today in 3 to 5 months. That would basically put us at the end of the year. I believe it says it somewhere around here as well. He basically says a $150,000 Bitcoin is what he is expecting by the end of this year. My hands are in the air. I'm, relinquishing as much as I possibly can. $150,000 sounds absolutely wonderful. But I think we need the public perception to kind of swing back there. I don't even want to use the term believer. I think that just sounds a little bit too cringy. I am an understander that at some point we will hit a $100,000 Bitcoin. But because of everything that's happening with the global economy, with the countries, you've seen the news, there's not a lot of clarity anywhere right now. So seeing an $80,000, $90,000 Bitcoin by September would be a, huge thumbs up. Okay, we're going to get there. But I think we need to get there because I keep seeing the euphoria, as I saw about a week ago, in the market when prices go up a tiny bit. Everyone, wee! And then prices go down by 3% and everyone's in misery once again. So I think if we really hurdle past $85,000, $87,000 per coin, we'd be mentally in a much better place and start seeing people re-entering the market to get us to $150,000 by the end of the year. It seems possible. Everything seems possible. The levels of Bitcoin and Ethereum accumulation have been staggering. I'm not sure if you're paying attention to the news, but it's been literally out of this world. Bitcoin inflows, even when prices go down in our market, the inflows to Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs are still hundreds of millions of dollars daily. So yeah, all the domino pieces are lined up. It's just about having that final click and that push forward. That's the $150,000 Bitcoin between 3 to 5 months. 3 months is diabolical. That's August, September, October. If by October 22nd, we have a $150,000 Bitcoin, you're all with me that we'd probably see a 160,000 by December, right? Which then leads us to the 300,000. Okay. Anywho, yeah, that's the mega popular news right now. And yeah. Let's move on. Also, in super popular, mega ultra, for some reason in the crypto space news, Nvidia is volatile. What? Yeah. So I remember saying a couple of months ago, for those of you who weren't here, here's what I said. I have a number of friends who work in IT, who work in tech, who work in AI and all these other things. And they were explaining to me the magic of AI and how this works. And I was like, cool, that is amazing. I totally understand what you are saying. The second part was that they told me that we are nowhere near where the public assumes that we are when it comes to AI. A lot of people use ChatGPT and it gives them some random explanation of something that they could have just Googled for. I have a lot of friends who use ChatGPT instead of using Google. They literally will talk into their phone as opposed to just typing it in Google, and then ChatGPT doesn't understand them or gives them a wrong answer, so they have to ChatGPT it again. A lot of people use it for images or for, I won't say other things, but people, and it's not what you think it is, it's normal things, but I won't give away their trade secrets. They use it for these things and they have to keep doing it over and over. It's because everyone I know who's working in tech and in IT and in AI tells me that basically what happens is you throw as much information into a computer as humanly possible, and then the computer, in human terms, it hallucinates. It hallucinates what it thinks that you are asking it for based off of the massive amount of data that you have given it. I'm pretty sure you've also seen on Instagram, maybe on Twitter, maybe on TikTok, the videos of people having a meme, and then they'll tell the AI to, continue the meme, so and so and so, and it literally just gives you a whole bunch of random stuff. Sometimes it looks, I don't want to use the term real, but it looks, oh wow, look at what the AI is doing. So I told you that a couple of months ago when Nvidia hit a brand new all-time high and the company was worth trillions of dollars, to just watch out, because I had seen and heard from a bunch of people in crypto that they were going to shift their money from crypto into Nvidia because Nvidia was going to reach the stars and it was going to so and so and so, and then like a day or two later the price began to fall. And that's basically because while Nvidia is supplying companies with these chips and they're talking all this big stuff about AI in the future, we are still about a good 10 to 15 years away from it. So in the future, who knows, Nvidia might be a $9 trillion company in 10 years. But as of right now, people are realizing the current limitations of AI, while they're spectacular and amazing for basic things or even, self-driving cars, what people need and what people think it's capable of is not really there yet. And this is why we're seeing like a lot of the hype bubble begin to, it's not bursting, but it's like slowly getting smaller and smaller and smaller. The news, for some reason, on multiple cryptocurrency websites is that Nvidia is basically becoming more volatile than Bitcoin. And I'm not sure if that's supposed to make us smile or happy, as Bitcoin is known as one of the most volatile assets on the planet. And therefore, if Nvidia's volatile, then Bitcoin isn't as much. You understand what I'm saying? Like, people are writing these articles as if like, oh my gosh, Nvidia? Well, that means that Bitcoin's not as volatile, but it's also like, no, they can both be volatile people together, just holding hands, being, swinging back and forth as they walk through the streets. Yeah, major news as well. I don't know if it's supposed to be triumphant for crypto or just like a cool. But yeah, so that's the Nvidia news. Remember, also, and I told you this, and I'll tell you this once again. And I mean, I can only bow in the direction of and or give a golf clap to the people who actually heed my words. Remember all those AI coins that everyone was so hyped about a couple of months ago, and I told you there's no reason for crypto or blockchain to have AI? It's literally like there's no point for it. We even have smart contracts which can automatically like execute a transaction when you need to. The idea of an AI coin was a scam, is a scam, and I will say the second part right now. You are going to continuously hear about brand new coins entering the market that are going to be scams, and you know that they're scams. You know that these coins have no purpose because other coins can already do these things. I predict by November, December, if we have a $128,416 Bitcoin floating around, there are going to be a bunch of new AI coins that are going to be popping up and trying to steal your money. Do not buy them. Do not invest in them. They are absolute nonsense. That's why I said golf clap to the people, especially over the years, who have listened to anything that I've said. I'm not trying to make you lose money. I'm not trying to make you miss out on an opportunity. I saw someone recently on Twitter. I was discussing something about Solana, and the person, bless your heart. I don't blame anyone. I don't have any ill will towards anyone. I think people are so used to being led astray and having people lie to them that if someone gives you any kind of logic, it's seen as something, how dare you, like that kind of thing. They were talking about, well, of course you hate Solana because you talk negatively about Solana all the time, and it's like because the coin is garbage. I have been in this market. All I can do is try and lead you to the water. It's all I can do. So when I get information from people who are in AI, who are building these systems, who tell me like, yeah, like a lot of it is kind of hype right now. Like we can do some stuff, but we can't do a lot. All I can do is bring you the information that I have. If I see that people are launching AI coins and I know that there's no AI inside of them, all I can do is tell you these coins are garbage, don't invest in them. If people are launching DeFi coins like last cycle, all I can do is tell you these aren't decentralized. They have nothing to do with DeFi. The coins collapse. Everyone runs around confused as to why. I try and do what I can every single cycle, but very few people listen to me. So, digital high five and all. I literally put my hand into the air. No one clapped back, but you understand. Yeah, that's the Nvidia news. Cool. Nvidia, woo. Okie dokie. Let's move on. In news that people refuse to believe, we had something similar to this news. I believe it was around 7 or 8 days ago. People did not believe it. One of the people from BlackRock went on to the news and said this. People thought he was lying, or he's maybe covering up, or maybe he's trying to front run the trade, or whatever the case might be. No, these people, especially in their industry, have to be relatively transparent. It's because they gauge things based off of like actual investor interest. People tell them, we want Bitcoin ETFs, and it's not normal people. It's not me and you. It's people whose yachts have a yacht inside of them. It's these people who have conversations with them and say, hey, we have a couple billion that we want to throw into this market. We think we can do it with ETFs. Launch Bitcoin ETFs. Hey, we've seen this other asset, Ethereum. We know that Ethereum can do it. We think there's a lot of money to be made. The price is undervalued. Let's start making Ethereum ETFs. It comes from, well, a lot of times when you hear banks say we're going to start offering Bitcoin and Ether to our clients, and this is, I mean, spot. This is even before the actual ETFs that we had years ago. What it is that their wealthiest clients are saying, hey, I want to get into Bitcoin. I want to start accumulating some, but the idea of buying it on Coinbase doesn't fit me. I have 35 million sitting with you. I want to start using it this way. Another client says I have 117 million. I want exposure through the bank with crypto so that I can have, for tax reasons, yada, yada, yada. And this is why they end up doing it. So when they say that they're not going to do something, it's not that they're trying to lie to you or trying to front run something or trying to whatever. So this person had to go back onto the news and say this once again. And a lot of people are still incredibly skeptical, regardless of what this person has declared. In the news, in another recent interview with Bloomberg, BlackRock's chief investment officer, Samara Cohen, clarified the asset manager's position on launching a Solana ETF. Cohen mentioned that the company did not see a Solana ETF as feasible in the near term, emphasizing the need for an asset to meet stringent criteria of investability and client demand. For now, Bitcoin and Ethereum fit these benchmarks while Solana does not. This person just said nearly the same exact thing a week ago, and they had to reiterate it over again because people did not understand. For those of you who have listened to me or whatever the case might be, understand that Solana, regardless of how much usage, regardless of how much possibility, regardless of what your friends are saying, regardless of what other YouTubers are saying, regardless of what people are Twitter on telling you that the coin's going to go to 1,000 and I'll even work backwards. During a bull run, during a bull market, everyone is a winner. That's one of the major pitfalls of the cryptocurrency space. Literally, no matter what you invest in, during the bull run is going to make money. That's what happened to BitConnect. That's what happened to Tron and a multitude of other coins. Bitcoin Cash Satoshi's Vision. Everyone's throwing money into everything with expectations that prices are going to do well. When a coin has less liquidity and doesn't have as much money normally sloshing through it, this is why it's a lot easier for these like terrible coins to rise higher in price. The problem is that if Bitcoin does well and Ethereum does well, Solana price-wise will also do well as well. You need to learn how to separate the idea of price go up and look how many people are trading this coin with institutional demand or interest. They're not just looking at how many people listen to me. On a given day, how many people are trading this coin on Coinbase and Binance? That's one of the very few metrics. It's about the stability of the actual network as well. Bitcoin, without having a manager, without having a this, without having an office, is transacting in trillions of dollars per month. I know you've heard me say that before, and I know that people can't count, but understand what that number means. Without any help, hundreds of millions of people on the planet are choosing to transact on this network that has no affiliation to any government, any person, any body, any nation. They're choosing it and trusting it over fiat currencies without having a CEO, without having a head to the dragon. That is a gigantic indicator. Every 24 hours that this happens, every 24 hours that Bitcoin does transactions, doesn't slow down, continues on its march, over the course of 15 years is a huge, that network can do it. Ethereum just celebrated being around for 9 years. Ethereum had problems, I think, the first year that it came out. Since then, the only problems has been its speed and scalability, and the scalability has increased a little bit, at least according to the news a couple of months ago. It is the most used blockchain on the planet. Ethereum has hundreds of companies, Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, Google the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, and behold, who have announced that they are going to use, are using, or already putting things on top of Ethereum, making their own chains on top of Ethereum. Ethereum is not a fly-by-night coin. When you get these articles, because I see them all the time, and I see these people trying to hype up Solana, and I see them talking about it, is Solana the thing that's going to ruin Ethereum? And people are like, Ethereum doesn't have that much longer. Solana has more legs. And it's like, you're not, these people are charlatans. What they're not telling you is that Solana is being used by criminals. Suck your teeth all you want. Solana is mainly being used by people who are making meme coins. The chain has no real purpose. All the energy that you're seeing expelled onto Solana has to do with people realizing, and even more so for those of you who forgot, in the beginning of the year, Bitcoin got NFTs, and they were called ordinals. The problem is that the network could not handle them, so a lot of people began to move literally the exact same projects. They mimicked them on the Solana chain, expecting people to move to Solana. It didn't work out. They didn't take off. People saw that there were, I think, 3 or 4 meme coins that were doing relatively well on Ethereum, and they literally copied those coins and moved them over to Solana. A lot of people like believing that those were the real coins when they got tricked into it. I saw the articles, I saw people complaining about it. It became very quickly a chain where people began to mimic other coins. Like, there are other versions of major coins on top of Solana that people made in the same exact way that Bitcoin Cash was made to fool people that it was actually Bitcoin. People made these coins, but what happened really quickly is that it became a degenerate chain. It became a chain for people who had nothing else to do, who were trying to scam other people. It made it into the news that certain coins were going up by 9,000% in a week, and that's all that it took. These people made these coins. You must remember, because I'm certain a lot of you or your friends or family members have been rug pulled by things on Solana. I know someone who told me he was rug pulled 7 times through multiple different projects, and he was like, I'm done. I can't take it anymore. I see people talking about it on Twitter all the time, and they're called idiots. Don't listen to them. Don't follow them. Solana's the next big chain. I've seen this happen every single cycle. The institution and the retail real world demand is not there. This is a hype chain that is being hyped up because of the fake money that people are making through these meme coins. The people you're seeing explaining how they've made so much money are the people who are making these coins. A very good friend of mine, he is very popular in the world. I won't tell you what he does. He was approached by people from Solana who said we can make a meme coin based off of what you do. They told him by email, if you want clarification, ask other people because this is how it works. They told him by email, we can front you 50,000 just for using your name for the project. When the coin begins to make money, because it will, because we know how to advertise it, we will give you $5 million from the proceeds. They expected themselves to make 20, 30, 40 million, but they said because we're using your name and you have no part in any of this, we will give you 5 million when the coin succeeds. They said we won't tell you, we will not tell you when we rug the project, so you have no implications in it. However, you will have made your money. My friend came to me and was like, what the living is what is happening? And I had to tell him, I was like, you're not going to do it. He said, no, because this is clearly an unregistered security that's going to come back to me. Didn't you realize all those celebrity coins that launched a month or two ago, how they're all silent now? They made millions of dollars and then disappeared. This is a scam chain. You need to understand that. And I know that I'm certain I've maybe only convinced one extra person. What you need to be convinced is for Solana to pump in price, for people to tell you it's going to go up forever. And in the late 2025, when this coin collapses and slams back down into the ground. And I'll even give you another one. When this coin freezes again, when the network has to be restarted, because you cannot restart a blockchain, when it has to be restarted again and you start losing money, that's the only thing that ever convinces people in the space. It's losing money. There's no demand for Solana except for people who are writing articles telling you to buy Solana, from other YouTubers who got into Solana very early, who are telling you that it's the thing that you should be putting your money into. And the same, you can look it up. The companies, this is a venture capital chain. The people who made this chain have not partnered with other companies. The people who gave them funding money are partnering with the chain. You can't partner with something that you're also funding. And they're creating these new things telling you to buy into it because it's amazing. This is not even a warning. It's just plain logic. We've heard many times, and I think people have become so skeptical with reality. This is part of the problem. A number of years ago, we had dozens of people in the space, people who were actual coders and people who were putting these systems together, and they began to look through a number of chains. The only things still back then that were in the news were Bitcoin and Ethereum, and there were a lot of people like, why aren't other coins in the news? So these coders began to go through the chains, and they were literally like, something's wrong with Tron, it doesn't work, all the promises that they're making aren't really there. They went through IOTA's code, and they said the Tangle doesn't work. It's broken. We've tried multiple times. It's not a coin that's ever going to take off. They basically called all these coins that no longer exist, no one invests into anymore, or now they're now trying to make a comeback. And I remember in 2017 and 2018, I said, I'm not going to promote these coins because I'm not a developer. I'm not a coder, but I trust that the people who make these systems, I trust their word. They're the literal people who put these things together. If you have no trust in other people or what they say, what's the point of you being in this market? You keep running to the next hypey thing, hoping that it's going to make you a millionaire, and then it disappears. You are simply pulling on the slot machine over and over and over and over and over, hoping for the result to be different. That's the definition of insanity. Especially, there was something on Twitter a couple of days ago. There's like a crypto confession thing. I forgot what the name of it is, but it has something like the word confession. And there was someone who wrote their confession, and then it was posted by the poster. And it said something along the lines of, I've been in this market for 7 years and I don't understand how it's not working out. They said in the beginning, they named the coins. I put my money into this, and this. It didn't work out. They were all scams. I put my money into this, and this during 2020, 2021. I don't get it. Why am I not making money? I'm not making any so. I keep putting my money into these hype coins that people keep telling me to do. And I'm actually in the minus. I took out 20,000 to get in debt to put into these coins that I heard were going to 15,000x. And it's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? What level of insanity are you currently going through? On that note, please don't ever take out debt to put into this market. I don't care what your hindsight is. I don't care if in 2027 you go, that coin I was going to. You are playing with lava. You know how many people took out debt and liens and mortgages against their homes around springtime, and they're hoping and wishing and praying that the market goes back up so that they can make their money back? And even people I saw the stuff that people were investing in. These coins have disappeared. One of the heads of BlackRock came forward and said, there is currently not enough demand for Solana. It is not robust enough as a network. It has not proven itself. It's still not there and probably will not be there for a while. If we hear over the next 3 years, me, you, us, that the team from Solana has backed away, that organically 20% of the network is meme coins. And on that same note, 80% of it is people around the world realizing that inflation is terrible and they're choosing Solana as their way to transact, to send money. People in America are choosing Solana to actually build things on top of. I mean, everyday normal people, not corporations, not institutions, who are being paid by Solana or have a venture inside of it. In 3 years, if it's transacting hundreds of billions of dollars every day organically from around 30 million people, transactions around the world, then Solana has a chance. People you don't understand how big and how powerful Bitcoin is, how popular Ethereum is. You hear and you see, and from these people, Solana has as much trading volume as Bitcoin. That can all be manipulated. We've seen that over the course of multiple years. And the things that people are transacting on Solana are scams. I don't know how to make that any clearer. There will probably be, at some point in the future, probably be an XRP ETF if they go public, if this happens, if yada, yada, yada. If Cardano ever gets it together and they have proper updates and upgrades, and Charles Hoskinson stops screaming at people the last 3 weeks, people are embarrassing themselves on Twitter. It's very, very weird. Stop screaming and arguing about something that you were not in the room for, that you have nothing to do with. You don't know these people. People are fighting for people who would never lift a pinky for them. It's really embarrassing. It's very, very weird. If Solana actually has real usage and it's not just... You think these billionaires are looking at Solana going, there's an immense amount of scams and rug pulls and meme coins on that chain. Let's make an ETF. That's not what demand is. When we get news stories that there are tens and thousands of people daily in Turkey who can't deal with the inflation that they're going through, and these people are literally buying Bitcoin, that's an indicator. When we get that there are millions of people in Latin America who are going through intense inflation, hyperinflation, and these people are buying machines to mine their own Bitcoin to survive. We've had this news for just about the better half of a decade. And they're using they're making Satoshis over the course of a week. and that money is enough to sustain them and they're choosing to transact in Bitcoin, that's a coin that gets an ETF launched for it. Anywho, yes, this person had to reiterate why there's no Solana ETF on the docket in the plans anytime soon. If Solana proves itself as a coin, as a chain, as something that's viable, eventually it's going to have it. You are all confusing and misconstruing the idea of usage and what usage actually means in this space. I know that 98% of people have completely foregone the idea of decentralization, and then you get stuff like Solana. You don't understand what decentralization means or why it's important. Anywho, I think that's going to do it for this video. I try my best every single day. If you don't listen, you'll find out next cycle, because it's always the same every single time. I do hope that you got something from this video. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.